Right, let's bring in some reaction. Joining us now is IFP National Spokesperson Mkhuleko Hlengwa. A very good evening to you. You had already called for President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier this week to immediately appoint a commission chaired by a retired judge. You must be pleased with this evening's announcement.
Well, thank you very much. Good evening. Well, it was the only logical step. So the reality is that the police apparatus and state machinery of law enforcement is wholly compromised by these allegations, because it's allegations made at the highest levels against the highest levels. And so the logical step in terms of good governance and in terms of due process would have been, as the president has correctly heeded to our call, an independent commission of inquiry, notwithstanding, of course, the public mood around commissions of inquiry, but the opportunity cost not to do it would have been far greater because of the extent of the allegations that have been made, and placing the Minister of Police on leave is the correct action step in order for him to exercise his the alteram partem in the exercise of this investigation. And it is now incumbent on the Commission to move with speed to actually investigate the matters, and we believe that the insertion of interim reports into the process will assist to fast track the situation. The bottom line is that the SAPS ecosystem is compromised and is not in a position whatsoever to investigate these matters, because the police are the subject matter of the allegations and therefore the subject matter of the investigation.
As you talk about the public mood about commissions of inquiry, of course, the big argument has been the course of action following recommendations, which is often underwhelming.
Well, I think that we rather err on the side of caution and not allow those grave mistakes of the past to dictate the collective integrity of what is a due process at this point in time. I think the president of the country himself must recognize the extent of the challenge and ensure that upon receipt of this report, he acts on the recommendations that will be presented to him. For the judiciary, as it will also go to Justice Maya, and for Speaker Togoti Deza as well, to ensure that the Parliament acts accordingly. But what is also, of course, an enabler for this process is that the judiciary has asked for information on the basis of the allegations made, and Parliament is considering and exercising its options. And so we have got an ecosystem where the three arms of the state are already in one way or the other involving themselves in this matter, and the commission will now be an anchor for the processes and be able to produce a report or reports which will be the basis of the next steps that need to follow. This is about a cleanup operation of the law enforcement agency as we see it, because quite frankly, it must shock the national conscience for that a provincial commissioner would take the steps that he did. It therefore means the situation is dire for General Mkhwanazi to have come out publicly in the manner that he did. And so you need a structured approach to test the allegations and deal with them, so that we can deal with the trust deficit which has now encroached into the SAPS ecosystem.
As that cleanup operation takes shape, we know that former Gauteng Safety and Security MEC Feroz Kachalia is now stepping in as acting police minister. What do you make of the move?
Well, we believe that it's good to fetch somebody from the outside, for lack of a better phrase, who has not ordinarily been in the political play, in order for the checks and balances to be strengthened. And of course, he is familiar with the police environment, and therefore will not find himself wanting. It is now our clarion call that Deputy Ministers Boshielo and Matale ensure that they provide the necessary support to the acting minister on one hand, and call on Minister Mkhuleko to subject himself to the full processes of the Commission of Inquiry so that this matter can be brought to a logical legal conclusion, and for the prosecutorial management, consequence management that must follow to follow, and for the bodies which are going to be receiving the reports and entrusted with the responsibility of the next action step to take matters forward.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in there. IFP National Spokesperson Hlengwa giving us some insight from the IFP as we continue to get more reaction.